In today's horror retrospective, we're going to take a look at the sequel to one of the most infamous horror movies ever made. Today we're looking into few films have sparked as much controversy as Faces of Death. When its sequel, Faces of Death 2, was released in 1981, it continued to push boundaries, leaving audiences divided between morbid curiosity and sheer disgust. Today we'll dive into the chilling world of Faces of Death 2, exploring its background, plot, filming, release, and its legacy, and why it still sparks debate decades later. To understand Faces of Death 2, we first need to revisit the original. Released in 1978, the first Faces of Death became infamous for its shocking mix of real and staged death scenes. It marketed itself as a documentary, but often blurred the lines between reality and fabrication. The film gained notoriety as a video nasty, banned in several countries but achieving cult status among underground audiences. Building on this unexpected success, the filmmakers, led by director John Allen Swartz, credited as Conan LeCellier, decided to create a sequel. The goal was to capitalize on the notoriety of the original while offering more of the same content that shocked audiences worldwide. Like its predecessor, Faces of Death 2 is less of a traditional narrative and more of a macabre anthology. Hosted once again by Dr. Francis B. Gross, played by Michael Carr, the film delves into humanity's obsession with death. It compiles footage of accidents, animal attacks, executions, and war-torn events, often with a pseudo-philosophical commentary about the fragility of life. Though some scenes claim to be authentic, many were fabricated for dramatic effect, continuing the franchise's deceptive formula. The sequel, however, introduced more war footage reflecting the geopolitical climate at the time, particularly the Cold War. The filming process of Faces of Death 2 followed the same formula as the original, a hybrid of real archival footage, staged reenactments, and fabricated scenes designed to appear authentic. This approach, pioneered by director John Allen Swartz, blurred the line between reality and fiction, a tactic that was both highly effective and deeply controversial. One of the most fascinating aspects of the filming was its reliance on practical effects. On a shoestring budget, the production team had to creatively craft scenes to mimic reality. For instance, some of the animal attack sequences involved clever editing and prosthetics to give the illusion of the gruesome injuries, while the plane crash aftermath scene was staged using elaborate set design and fake debris. Swartz and his team often shot these segments guerrilla style, without permits, which added to the new and raw and unpolished aesthetic of the film. The team also made heavy use of stock footage, some of it real, some staged, to pad the runtime and maintain the documentary style. This included war footage, disaster clips, and newsreels, often manipulated or recontextualized to fit the film's macabre narrative. For example, a newsreel of a violent protest might be edited to appear more chaotic and deadly than it actually was. Interestingly, many of the stage scenes feature Swartz himself, his crew members, and even his friends as stand-in for the victims. This DIY ethos not only kept costs low, but also ensured complete creative control. For example, Swartz reportedly played multiple roles in both Faces of Death and its sequel, including appearing as a corpse in a staged autopsy scene. Despite its low budget, the film's sound design and editing played a huge and significant role in creating its unsettling atmosphere. The addition of exaggerated sound effects, such as screams, crunching bones, and ominous background music, heightened the impact of the visuals, making even the stage scenes feel more disturbingly real. The filming process wasn't without its challenges. The ethical and legal boundaries were constantly tested, especially when creating scenes meant to resemble real-life tragedies. This raised questions about exploitation, authenticity, and the responsibility of filmmakers when crafting content designed to shock. However, for Swartz and his team, these boundaries seemed to be part of the appeal. They were intentionally pushing the limits of what audiences could endure. Ultimately, Faces of Death 2 was a patchwork of creativity, controversy, and low-budget ingenuity. By combining fake deaths with carefully selected real footage, it manipulated its viewers into questioning what was real and what wasn't, cementing the series' reputation as one of the most polarizing in cinematic history. Faces of Death 2 was released in 1981, riding the wave of the first film's underground success. Like its predecessor, it was primarily distributed on VHS, catering to a niche audience that sought out shock and taboo. The film faced censorship in several countries and was often banned outright, yet this only fueled its allure, making it a sought-after tape among fans of exploitation and horror. While the first film had already sparked outrage and debate, the sequel solidified the franchise's reputation amongst horror lovers of the Mondo genre. Decades later, Faces of Death 2 continues to be a topic of debate. It paved the way for the shockumentary genre, inspiring countless imitators and influencing films like Traces of Death and Banned from Television. While critics condemned it as exploitative and tasteless, some see it as a grim reflection of society's voyeuristic obsession with death and disaster. The Faces of Death series also played a pivotal role in the evolution of home video horror, proving that controversy could drive popularity. The Faces of Death franchise is a unique taste of horror filmmaking. It's made for the crowd who love the Mondo subgenre. After viewing the first movie, then seeing the many copycats which tried to emulate the same type of energy and controversy, it didn't really sit well for me. If you're a fan of shockumentaries and the Mondo genre in whole, then this movie is probably for you. For myself, watching the sequel wasn't as shocking as the first. This is mostly due to me being almost prepared for it. For the original Faces of Death, you didn't really know what you were getting into. Let us know below if you have seen Faces of Death 2, and if you have, what did you think of it? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and remember, be critical, be scared.